We have an awesome responsibility as managers of God's assets. These are not our assets. We don't own these things. Just last week, I went to a funeral, and I happened to find somebody in our group found this obituary in the paper, and he was from Genoa City, which is originally from where I'm from. And he said, "Did you know this guy?" By gosh, I knew him. 55 years ago, before we played together on the farm back in Genoa City. So I wanted to go up to the funeral. It's about an hour away. So I went up to the funeral, and I stood there at his casket looking at him. And I said, 55 years ago, we were playing together in the farmyard. BB gun fights, things like that, things you don't want your kids to do. And today, I'm standing at your casket. I knew you coming in, and I see you going out. Now, I know he's with the Lord because I talked to his wife, and he was a born-again Christian. So I know he's in heaven, and he's enjoying life eternally. But how fast that 55 years went by. So how are we handling God's assets as we have this short period of time on earth? They're not ours. But we can store them up in heaven ahead of us. When Jesus taught us to pray, he said, "On earth as it is in heaven. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." So what we do with these assets that God has put us in charge of down here, we can either flitter them away and they become nothing but hay and stubble and can't survive the fire, or they can become gold, silver, and rubies and diamonds and be waiting for us in heaven as we get there. So what we do with them on earth is very, very important. That doesn't mean that you can't go out and buy that new car. That doesn't mean that you can't have a boat. But when you do have that kind of money to buy those things, and we teach being debt-free, and when you have that kind of money that you can go buy a car, ask the Holy Spirit what he wants you to do. Do you really need to have that Lincoln? Or can that Chevrolet be just as fine, and invest seed into a couple water wells in Africa? Feed a couple thousand kids in Guatemala. That's managing God's assets. He wants you to have a life that's full and fulfilling and happy. But he also, in Matthew 25, says that when you give that thirsty person a glass of water, or that hungry person a loaf of bread, or visit the prisoner, clothe the person that doesn't have any clothes, that you've done it to him. I want to do it to him. Because that's what he wants. And the deal is, it's waiting for you in heaven when you get there. And 55 years go by real fast.